Day one, how was it out there?
It was good. Good for day one. You know, obviously a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces. And, you know, it's the first day of camp. It's not going to be perfect. Personally, there's always a few plays you want to have back or redo, but it's good to knock the rust off, and I think we did execute it pretty well.
You've been through a few of these. What do you look for? Like, what's most important on day one as far as, you know, setting the tone?
It's different in every situation. I think the good thing here is we've done so many PRPs. Today, you know, there shouldn't be any MAs. We've done all these plays probably 4 or 5 times now in PRPs alone. If you were here this spring, you've done them probably 10 or 15 times. So that's the biggest thing. I don't think we made any mental errors, and everyone for the most part did their job. Now we got to execute some things better, but that's the stuff I look for today, especially in the way our offense is run. And you know, we're not going to run every different play in the world, but we got to run our plays effectively.
What needs to happen over these next few weeks for this team to be ready for, you know, to get to the season?
Just continue to develop and be the same team every day. Again, there's a lot of new faces. You know, I know up front some things are going to move around. At wideout, you know, things are going to move around. Guys are going to plug and play different spots, even at running back. So guys got to be comfortable. Guys got to step up. But you can't waste an opportunity out here. We got to show up every day and be consistent.
Do you feel a greater sense of urgency this particular fall camp because going into the Big 12, because there's so many newcomers? Do you feel that maybe a sped up sort of thing to get ready?
Yeah, I think you always have your own internal, you know, excitement and drive to have a great year. But there's definitely an energy around the building right now that, you know, we got to pick it up because you know, there's a lot of good teams on our schedule and we have to, you know, elevate our play.
Yeah, you're almost a veteran compared to some of those guys. You've been here 3 months, right?
Other than the 6-year guys, pretty much, yeah. But yeah, it's I'm really proud of the group, and again, that's something I was looking forward through the recruitment process. Was, you know, this is my last year. I want a team and a culture and an environment and coaching staff that's going to match my energy to, you know, we need to have a good year this year.
Does that help you acclimate a little bit as a new guy, as somebody who's been here for a whole, 9 months, 10 months or whatever, kind of bringing other new guys back in and into the culture and that sort of thing? Yeah,
I think so. And I think just the culture here already kind of allows us to fit in really easily. You know, they're going to recruit kids that fit in the culture here. And again, those guys who are here, they want to be here and they're here for the right reasons. And again, we're here and kind of in it together, and the guys who have been here kind of bring us in too. So again, I think it's a combination of a lot of things.
You got to be ready this year with depth. That's something that we've all talked about a lot because of the schedule you're facing. How much do you analyze down the line? Because you're with the 1s and the 2s and the 3s. I mean, everybody's got to be ready because you never know which guy's going to be called on. How deep do you look? How does that work as a quarterback?
Yeah, you know pretty much you know, the first 2 lines of, you know, I guess that O-line would be the first 10 guys, and that receiver, it's the first 6 to 8. And I feel pretty good about it top to bottom, and that's a good thing about it today. We actually, in team, we went 2 separate fields, getting everyone kind of those reps and kind of see where everyone's at and make sure we get the right guys on the field when it matters and the right guys together. So, you know, coaches will figure that out, but also everything we do in the summer, it's not exclusionary. You know, all those guys are out there. Those main guys, you know, have been throwing with them a lot. So, and we're going to need them at some point. You know, a lot of injuries in football. You know, guys get tired, they tap out. If you have 6 to 8 deep at receiver, that's huge. You know, at low line, if you can plug guys in, I know in the past they've run 6 or 7, maybe even 8 at times. That's huge. Guys go down all the time. It's a physical, you know, violent game. So it's a good problem to have, but we have to figure out how to use it, and it's tough too. Sometimes there's a lot of mouths to feed.
Well, it's important to be confident, I guess, in whichever guy you're looking at on the field and being like, okay, this guy's ready, whether he's 1 or 8 or wherever he is on that chart. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we have a good situation right now. This is, of all the teams we've been on, I feel like this is the most depth at every position offensively. And again, it's a great problem to have in a way.
How does this offense fit you and the playmakers that you have? Because obviously you chose BYU because you thought the offense fit what you could do. How does it all fit together in your mind?
Yeah, I think you know, all these plays and all these things we do, for the most part, stuff I've run. It's nothing new. And the stuff that is new is just slight variations of stuff I've already done. So I feel like I've been here for a lot longer than I have. A lot, you know, thanks in part to Coach A-Rod, calling plays I'm familiar with, you know, and really I don't think there's any plays that aren't. So that's a big part. Then also the receivers do things the right way. And as a quarterback, even if you have guys that, you know, aren't 4-3 guys that aren't going to, you know, just beat guys because they're faster, for me, timing-wise, and against zone defenses, that stuff's irrelevant. I want the guys to be in the right place at the right time, and I think we have really talented receivers, and they do things the right way, and that's, again, testament to Coach Fessy.
The guys
Back
behind
here.
you.
Sorry, I can't hear all the way back here, but
You're
I
good.
haven't asked this already. What is something that you're most confident in? If it's too early to tell, what's something that you look forward to kind of having some faith in with this team?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I think one with the players and really the staff. You know, I think the guys around us, we have a ton of depth. Really, I feel confident at all positions. A lot of experience, a lot of depth. It's just a matter of making it work. And you know, I trust our coaching staff to kind of put the pieces together and make it look good and ready for Sam Houston and the rest of the season. And again, with the coaching staff, I think too, schematically, A-Rod's so good at finding the right pieces and making it work. You know, you can have great plays, but if you don't have the right personnel for those plays, it's not going to work. But I think A-Rod does a great job, and that's why he's one of the best coordinators in the country, is because he puts it all in place for, you know, the personnel that we have.
What's been the biggest challenge you faced transitioning into this new offense?
Just getting up to speed. Like, I think most of that was in the spring. It wasn't hard, but it's still a challenge. You know, anytime you're kind of going into it, I think, you know, you want to be, especially as a fifth-year guy and the guy who's expected to be a starter, you don't want to go into it and make any MAs. You don't want to make any wrong reads. You want to do things the right way, because then the offense has the best chance of having success. So I think for me, again, not that it's been made really easy for me by A-Rod and Coach Mitchell. So, but that's still a challenge that, you know, today even you have one or two plays you want to do better, and that's where I kind of challenge myself to be perfect every day.
Kedon, the guys behind you don't have a lot of D1 reps, you know, actual game reps. How do you get them? I know you want to play every down, but how do you get them ready in case they're needed to be ready for? Because it's just different when you're on the field in a game, in a D1 game. So.
Yeah, I feel you just have to collaborate a ton. You know, those guys ask me questions. Hey, how do you see this? Hey, are you know, when do you make this decision by? And you know, hopefully they can kind of take that experience from me, but also they gotta, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, a lot of times I don't know if they don't know something. I kind of take it for granted, and you know, I got to shout out Ryder. He's the one who's always in my hip pocket, always asks me questions. Even last night, he's like, "Hey, after practice, can we watch film, watch my reps?" I was like, "Dude, I'm happy to do that," because again, like kid like that, all those guys in the room, they're the future, and you know, again, God forbid something happens, they got to be ready to step up too.
Anything else for Kedon?
Kedon, I know this is your last year, but do you pay attention to all this realignment stuff, all this talk that, you know, about what might happen with college football? Because, I mean, it's not going to affect you directly,
yeah,
likely, but
probably not as much I should. Again, yeah, like my focus is solely on this year, but then, you know, you hear stuff through the grapevine. Even like yesterday, someone talked about Colorado coming to the Big 12, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but again, I'm not going to be a part of it. But again, I still want to stay invested in BYU and college football and how BYU's doing. So I got to have some awareness for sure, but again, all focus is kind of on this year.
I was just curious how much that played in. So,
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no
Thanks, Kedon.
problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.